Hey all, Heretic here, and today in the Battlegrounds, we're going to be talking about heroes. Now, myself, I'm about 7k right now, so I want to tell you the heroes that I enjoy playing and I feel like are very effective in the current meta and why they are. We're going to kind of put them in groups and go over the ones that work the best for me, and then you can compare them to what worked for you and see if there's a difference. Now, especially if you're having a hard time, the average player is still only at 2 to 3k. Obviously, I'm a decent MMR, but there are people at 10k who are much higher, and my advice might not apply to them because, well, they're playing at a different level from the rest of us. The 1% doesn't apply to the other 99% because the people they're playing against don't play like everybody else. They're playing on the next level. I want to talk to you about the people who are playing at your level, the people you're actually seeing in your lobbies, not the people you might never see. I want to give you the heroes that work for us. So let's look at the groups and how I'm breaking them up and what I think works versus how you think, and let's see what happens. So right off the bat, let's start at one-shot heroes. Right now, I feel like these are very powerful, very useful, more than they've been in the past. And by this, I mean heroes like Reno, Frag, and Eudora. Now, Eudora, you can use your hero more than once, but it's not often you're going to get to, and typically it feels greedy to try. So with these heroes, typically you'll use your hero power, and then you're done. That tempo you gain from them is gone and you're out of luck. But now, let's say you're playing Reno and you golden a tier 5 minion because you tripled into it, and you're all set and you're happy because you got a good card and you're ready to go. But now you got no hero power. But now, because of unmasked identity, this card changes the game for all of these heroes. Get to tier 5, you play this, and now you have new options. Now you can play anything else. This card makes these heroes all much more effective than they were before, because now you blow that one-shot hero, you gain a ton of power in whatever that one ability is, and now you can transition to another hero power, be it another one-shot ability, a tempo, and probably late game more of an economy, depending on what the powers are offered to you, of course. You're going to take what you get. There's not much you could do about it beyond that. These heroes right now, I feel, are very effective in having an amazing time. Now, let's talk the next group of heroes. I'm going to talk tempo heroes. With tempo heroes, we're talking heroes like yogg-saron, wag-toggle, heroes that have nice stat buffs to either the shop or just your minions in general, but then don't work in the late game because while Yogg's hero power is great, on turn 1 through 5, it starts to fall off, and when you're on turn 12, spending 2 gold to get a random minion with a +1/+1 might not and is not usually a good idea. But now, once again, unmasked identity, probably the powerhouse of the meta right now, allows you to change from this now relatively useless hero power to something much more effective. An economy hero power, like maybe a trade prince power, or even just a Reno power, so you get a shot of making something gold. There are so many possibilities unlocked by this card. It makes these heroes all more viable because now you get through the early game and all of a sudden you can change to a late game strategy that's going to make you work better. So these heroes are also good right now. Now we have to talk about the new heroes, or the broken heroes. They're not tuned yet. They're out and they're actually relatively powerful. Sometimes you get new heroes and they're kind of weak, but right now spells are really powerful because they have not yet been balanced really. So you're going to see a big difference in them once they're balanced. But for now, heroes like Dr. Holli'dae, where you're going to spend 1 gold to get a random spell. So right off the bat, that power is random. Yes, you might just get 1 gold back. Hey, paid for itself. You also might get permanently increase your gold by 1. Or you might get a divine shield. You don't know. Now, mind you, it only gives you up to your tavern tier 4, but this gives you a lot of power. You want to smash that hero power as much as possible realistically. I still don't want to change my curve and have it built around these spells, but I want to have a curve, like a fast basic curve, where I'm still tiering aggressively, and then I'm using those spells when I get them for the big advantage they give me. Because they're cheap. It's 1 gold for a spell. The price you're paying is it's random. So some games you're going to low roll. You're never going to get anything good. Other games you're going to high roll. When it balances out, it's still a very powerful hero power with the state of spells currently. Next up, let's look at Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes is awesome. I have had great luck with Snake Eyes, and I feel like you haven't taken the shot with them yet. You're missing out. You roll a die, and that's how much extra gold you get a turn, depending what number you roll. And then you don't get the hero power again for that many turns. Simple, effective. Turn 1, you roll that, you get enough gold to tier. Jump to tier 2. Oh, you lost the first combat. Who cares? Starting turn 2, you get to buy stuff. Maybe you rolled high enough where you get to buy a minion now. Maybe the spell allows you to buy a minion now. Go for it. This hero power is really, really good. It will give you a lot of tempo. Basically, just roll this thing constantly. And if you roll really high, especially no matter what, you might as well tier early because you're going to get faster access to better minions. And then, hey, get late game. Say it's turn 11. You roll a 6 on this thing. Yeah, you're going to hear it already. You've heard it a few times today. Unmasked identity. The game's probably not going to go 16 turns. So you might as well just pick up a new one. Whatever you roll, if it's going to not come back and for another 3 to 4 turns, you might as well change your hero power to something else. This hero is super strong. Do not sleep on this. And finally, tae'thelan. I don't really need to go into this. This hero has now been removed from the game because it's so powerful that they need to balance the spells and then maybe touch up this hero so it isn't quite so broken. Probably make it something like every 3rd spell you cast costs 2 less. Something along those lines. But right now, it was so completely busted. You could go infinite essentially and just be bonkers powerful. So this one is gone. All right, all. So which heroes are overpowered right now? What are my MVPs? Now, one of these might surprise you. One of these might not surprise you. And the other one should definitely surprise you because it blew my mind when I saw it. And I want to talk it over with you. So let's start with number 3. My MVP number 3, probably N'Zoth. Right now, death rattles are ridiculous. Between Goldrin and Phalanx and Lighter Fighter and a whole other cadre of amazing death rattles, N'Zoth is kind of in an amazing place. N'Zoth has been a good hero the entire time, consistently powerful, depending on what death rattles are good. If there are decently average death rattles, N'Zoth performs well. When there's amazing death rattles, like there are right now, N'Zoth is kind of cuckoo banana. Firebat, guess what? So much value. There's so many good death rattles right now. N'Zoth shines bright to me. That's my number 3. Number 2, probably be Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes, getting tier 2 on turn 1 has always been powerful. Anytime a hero that can do that, has done that, they have overachieved. And in the case of Snake Eyes, you just keep doing it. You just keep rolling that die and at the right time, and it feels really good. You roll a 6 on turn 1, don't worry about it. On turn 7, you roll a 6 again, you just tier. What is my answer to this hero power? Tier. Like, oh, did I roll enough to tier and still buy a minion? Who cares? Tier. It's like, well, yeah, you could stay down if you're really weak, if you've low rolled, if your shops have been bad. Yeah, stay down. Typically, you're going to go for the better minions because this thing is power. This is super power. Finally, the number 1. Now, this blew my mind. I went looking through HS Replay. I wanted to see what heroes were overperforming. And in every single MMR rating, Chenvala is the number 1 hero. Chenvala. So Chenvala is, after you play 3 elementals, reduce the cost of tiering by 3. Simple, effective. I don't mind playing Chenvala. I never have. But I can't tell you how many games I've played Chenvala where I've played maybe 3 elementals because they just don't appear. Or they appear the entire game and yeah, you're tier 6 in no time. It really depends on your luck. Overall, very consistently, this hero is overperforming. Chenvala is really good right now. So definitely slam some Chenvala. Now you're asking me, Heretic, why is Chenvala good? Because we've already said it a few times. You don't have to keep his hero power. That hero power that makes it cheap to tier is great. But then you play Unmasked Identity and you have a new hero power because you get to tier 5 and 6 faster. Well, as soon as you're 6, your hero power does nothing. Play Unmasked Identity. And now you're Reno. Now you're Gorefiend. Let's go for it. It's amazing. So Chenvala, the number 1 hero right now. Chenvala carry you to the end game to then change essentially to another hero. I think Unmasked Identity is the true star of spells. You take away all the spells, and this is probably my favorite one because it allows me to play the hero I want, and then switch to a more effective hero in the later game. I like that a whole lot. You think this will be a tier 6 spell? Probably, or at least more expensive. I don't care if they make this 5 gold and leave it at tier 5. I'm still gonna play this thing because it's just such a power spike at the right time for it. Those are my heroes. That's the way I've ranked them. How do you rank them? Where would you put these heroes? What are your top 3? Put them in the comments below. I'm curious to hear what you're thinking, what works for you, which ones are the most fun for you. Not necessarily the most powerful, which ones are the most fun? Because yeah, it's great to play these heroes, but if you don't like them, if you don't enjoy that play style of that particular hero, if you play Snake Eyes and every time you play them, you roll 1s for 10 turns, that doesn't feel good. That's like not having a hero power, right? You just, oh yeah, I rolled a 1. Yeah, I rolled a 1. That's nothing. So tell me what you think. I want to know. Leave them in the comments below. We're going to get some guides out, but I want to wait for the first bounce patch, which I thought would happen this week, but maybe it still is, but it looks like it's going to happen probably next week or maybe Thursday, Friday this week. We'll see, but who knows? Thanks for watching all. I hope you had a good time. Catch you in the Battlegrounds. Until then, have a good time. Later.